President Trump sat down with Axios reporter and CBS News contributor Marc Caputo after returning from the G7 summit. I spoke with Marc about his conversation with the president. Please listen. You asked the president an important question about power and whether any limits he perceives. Let's play it.
What have you learned about not just the exercise of power, but the limits on your power as a result of the conflict?
There are no limits.
No limit.
No, not. I haven't learned that lesson yet. I know there are, but, there are no limits.
Was he serious in your evaluation with that answer?
I think he was. It's typical Trump, right? In fact, you can almost see my shoulder giggle a little, thinking like, wow, that's actually kind of funny because I did not expect him to say, not only are there no limits, but like, I'm sure they're out there, I just haven't encountered them. And yeah, he surely believes that. Now, he has encountered his limits, though, in the Iran war. That's just beyond a doubt, but he's just not going to admit it.
He's not going to admit it.
Yeah.
You also asked him about the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel writ large and what may or may not happen that is possibly uncomfortable between the two nations in the not-too-distant future. Let's listen to that.
If it weren't for Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu worked well with me, but he will tell you, we're the ones with the guns, we're the ones with the whole deal, we're the ones with the B-2 bombers, etc. If it weren't for Donald Trump, Israel would have been eviscerated.
Your relationship with Netanyahu's...
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah, I will be. I mean, I wonder. They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
Mark, you know what I do. There are three things in there that the president said that are pretty important and will resonate in Israel for quite some time. Essentially, the implication that without America and without him leading America, Israel, its sovereignty and its existence may not be guaranteed, which I think the Israelis would take as a possible affront. Second, Bibi Netanyahu without President Trump can be insane. Two, last, they will do as I say. Whoa.
Yeah, well,
that's a lot, man.
It's a lot. I detect and I have gotten indications, I'm being very cautious and careful with my words, from advisors to Trump, who say that while they haven't asked him this because they wouldn't dare, they suspect that if Donald Trump had a time machine, or if back on February 28th, he had the ability of foresight, he would not have gone into war the way he did against Iran. Now, this is just their suspicion, their guess, their feeling. And my feeling is that deep inside of Trump, there's a little bit of resentment to Netanyahu, who was a leading proponent for this action.
So leading.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think it's wrong to say that, if Netanyahu didn't exist, Trump would have never done this. I think Trump probably would have. But Netanyahu was a major proponent of this war, a major marketer of selling how easy it's going to be. In the opening days of the conflict, according to my colleague Barak Ravid, who writes extensively both stateside and from Israeli politics side, that Netanyahu thought that this would be over very quickly. And that was sold to the president. Now, the CIA had its own assessments that the president bought. But deep inside, I think what you're hearing from Trump is a sense of like, I got sold a bill of goods here.
Would you go so far as to say buyer's remorse?
I think he wouldn't admit it. But again, in my conversations with people who know his thinking, that's probably deeply buried in there.
Anything else from the interview that struck you that we did not play?
Just the general sense of relief that Trump had. And I understand that when I talked to Trump, he had just flown back from Europe. He had only 2 hours of sleep tops. He's 80. Like, I would have just been a mess. He nevertheless has carried this positive sense, this sense of relief that he's found a way out. And that's evidenced by the fact that in the interview, you'll see we have the full interview at Axios.com. He talks about stock market's up,
right?
Oil is down, and then he says at one point, this great line, he's like, it's a gusher, as if he's discovered an oil field.
Right.
And I think that sort of gusher symbolism or imagery sort of symbolizes how he feels about this, like this sort of release.
One man's gusher is another man's off-ramp. Marc Caputo, Axios. Great stuff as always.
Thank you. I appreciate it.